Hello and welcome to the GL Zones Production Users Call of 2026, January 6th. Uh, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates, especially if you're Orthodox today, and Happy Halloween to everyone else. Hope you had a good vacation. We have Michael, Carlo, Jan, Varjan, Ronik, Jamie, Philip, Haizam, and we have a bunch of topics to go through today. Long story short, Michael is busy with work, so for the upcoming year, Jan and I will be hosting the Jails Zones call. We might consider renaming it, by the way, to just production users call. That was actually a good feedback that some of my students have come back to me saying that the thing that they get the most value out of is not the talking and the writing, but like the demos. So this might be a good day to tell who wanted to do a demo? Carla wanted to do a demo. We'll do that today for sure. Yeah. So newbies like the demos. That's good. That'll be useful overall. And maybe if we drop the jail zones name, it could be more general purpose. Jamie, you wouldn't leave us then, right? I mean, even if we drop the jail name.
I mean, since I don't do much more than lurk, might as well not.
Great, awesome. Yes. Yet another jail manager. Who added this?
I
Uh,
added a few links to some things I found this last few
Thank
days.
you.
Hmm.
Does anyone have any info about this? Blackship by Suros.
Zoom in on
Um,
that with some command plus plus plus. Thank
y-
you.
oh,
But
it's crazy.
zerp.
Okay. Yeah, that's Safari for you. So, Rust, that's
Hmm.
nice. Declarative configuration with TOML, dependency management, state machine lifetime. I think Uncle DCH would like this. He's not here today. VNet networking, that's amazing. ZFS, jail. This is something I'm actually interested in for my jailer, having a jail file template. Maybe with this is something I can work on with them. Health checks, lifecycle hooks, that's very impressive. Port forwarding shell completion. Completion, of course, it boots, or rather compiles, sorry,
It's
with cargo, and then you're doing init. Hey, is this like a copy pasta of what I have? TOML, okay, that's nice. Config. Zpool data set. Oh, this is too complicated. Why would you do it this way? Okay, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Name, release, networking. Yeah, yeah, nice. Create a network. Oh, this is nice. Default subnet gateway. Bridge Blackship. Nice. Start a jail. Interact with a jail. That's nice. Execute a command. That's nice. Check status. No idea how that works, but we can read the source code. Global configuration. Oh, these are nice. Oh, I assume this means that they're using non-PKG base, right? One would say. Yeah. GLS depends on database. That's my app. Okay. Health check. Oh, how to do a health check. That's nice. You target in the GL. That's nice. Or you pig rep a process. That's amazing. There's a hook that you can do things post start, for example. Great. Yeah. Post stop or pre stop in this case. Yeah. This is nice. Whoever wrote this, kudos. Um, Starring it for sure. And it's BSD 3 clause. So, one more in the family. We just got a new cousin. Is anyone interested in this? Oh, here's the one. Yeah, there we go. From 15, metadata, run, copy, work, dir, expose. I mean, this is a Docker file syntax, right? Give or take. Yeah, there's no entry point command though. There's just CMD.
CMD,
Yeah. Much more similar to what was our good friends? Bastille? Yeah, Bastille. Bastille would
which is
be,
also a bit inspired by Docker from
yes.
well the syntax of the Bastille
Yep.
files.
Yep, absolutely. This is great. Awesome work. Yeah, okay, so they're using Bridge. We just moved away from Bridge, by the way. We're finally completely on Netgraph with much less performance issues, which I'll show today. This is a TCP health check. That's nice. So like you can try doing this. Amazing. And then we have dependencies. Nice. Examples. Then this is very well documented project. And that's the author, Abdul Kadir Budi. Abdul Qadir. Abdul Qadir. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Abdul Qadir. Okay, nice. Amazing work. Nice. Okay. Next up we have managing jails with Ansible, the jail exec connection. Oh my God, I needed this my whole life. You know the problem, like when you're using Ansible, then you have to add the SSH keys. Can't find server. Oh, probably because my VPN sucks. 1 second. That one, deactivate. Okay. Because like when you do Ansible, what happens is you have to connect to the jail using SSH, right? So, Zoom. Yeah, but instead, I'm guessing our friend here has made a jail exec connection. So instead, you connect to the host via SSH, and then you JExec into the jail, which is a very nice thing to have, a thing to do. Yeah, this is an
So
amazing idea. I wonder how they did it.
there are
I've
multiple ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Either you write what I think this blog post is about, an Ansible connection plugin, which
Yeah.
does SSH plus J exec,
Mm-hmm.
or you could use the PEM-J exec,
Mm-hmm.
where you set up the host so that if you SSH in as a specific user as part of setting up a PAM session, you get jail attached.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's basically transparent to Ansible.
Well, this is a
Because
good
by the
one.
time
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but this is
but
not
it
that way.
requires a bit more customization.
Yeah.
This here sets the
So
Ansible connection plugin.
yeah. Here you have a web jail, which is saying we're using the jail exec connection. So the host
Yep.
is jail host and the Ansible user is Ansible. So this also makes sense. I like
I
this.
guess, or it splits at a dash.
It splits at a dash. Yeah.
So,
Mm,
oh no, it doesn't.
no, you just need to
So,
have duas, for example, and then allow the user to have the following, commands to be able to use,
yep.
right? Yeah, like JLS, JExec. Why Makdir, Mava, and RM? I don't know. Is it because of
For temp,
temp stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Yeah. Is this written by our good friend Hofstad, or is it a public thing, like the plugin itself? So I don't see links, but we'll find it in a second, I guess. That's the GL host. Here's the basic usage. Nice. And then we have, running the stuff. Nice. Okay, so yeah, this is impressively nice. So you can install packages and others. Yeah, nice.
once you have the SSH connection into the jail, it's
Mhm.
just another system you manage.
Yeah. This is something new apparently by Hofstadter.
I've
Hofstadter.
used an Ansible SSH plus JExec connection plugin like 5 or 10 years ago. It's not new. Maybe this implementation is new. It has some
Yeah.
improvements.
Yeah, I think I've seen at least two other Ansible JExec tie-ins. One that Dave Kottlehuber had, and then another one I think that was on this call maybe a couple months ago, or at least was referenced. And if we don't have the link to that, I can find it, because it's just on a GitHub link for that.
I'm gonna go here just to have a look. Okay. And then if we go to Uncle DCH, it would be DCH. No. Absolutely not. I have no idea what I would even look for.
I'll look for them to see where they were. They were ones from back as far as I think 2018 or so.
.org. Source. Oh, he's on the source hot thing. Yeah. Ansible. Ansible Postgres. What about jail? DIY jails. Well, how DIY are we talking about? I'm guessing.
Well, I think it was from another project that he had gotten it. I'll have to find where it is.
Okay.
I'll put it in the document.
Yeah. That would be very nice to also see the other options, you know, in case people need to figure out what else to do with it. But this is actually very useful. For example, in our case at the lab, we can use this to, you know, do the jail management easily with Ansible. Conclusion, fills the gap, and other references. So that's an actual
So
thing. Lots of plugins like yes, Jan.
there's ansible-sshjail, and the license file for it is from 11 years ago.
Ansible-sshjail. Ansible-sshjail. Where is that? I want to figure out if we have see that. Oh, SSH root jail config. I see that. No, sorry, not that. If you don't have the link, oh, thank you. Thank you. Paste. This is from last year. Okay. Python 2.7.
It started at least 11 years ago.
Okay.
So this idea is about as old as the idea of using Ansible for jails.
Yeah. I've never seen this before. And it also uses something called the jail me. Set UID version of JExec to allow normal users to access jails. I had no idea, but okay, nice. Okay. That's very cute and nice. Okay. And you used this one before, Jan? Or was this
Years and years
something
ago,
years and
yes.
years ago? Nice. Okay, next link we have smbjail. Dexter, I assume you added this, yes? Oh wait, this is in a whole other language. Well, the configuration is in English, so okay, jail name.
Japanese, okay.
Is that Japanese? Or Korean? No, Japanese. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Japanese.
you're right, Japanese. Do we have anyone who speaks Japanese?
Technically one in the community. The fact that Samba's come up and almost needs its own kind of treatment in these broader circles, it just jumped out, so I threw it in there. But
Actually, very good idea that you
nice.
did. I don't know what these are. This is make jail. This is for app jail. Okay, which is another jail manager. It's called app jail. So this is for that apparently. And we have also build sh, which is I'm guessing it's like an old school version or something. Yeah, okay. Does it need app jail or just it just generates a config file? Nice. And then generates the Samba file. Very nice with protocols and everything else. Awesome. This is and at the end it uses app.jl to do stuff. This is actually not bad. On that topic, do you see? Well, I don't even see it. 1 second. Do you see my terminal?
Yes.
I'm guessing the
Make it bigger.
size is tiny. Yeah.
And if you zoom in, we can even read it.
Isn't that awesome?
Thank you, Waldorf.
Remember what we were talking about a couple of days ago regarding Samba?
Yes. What were you talking about?
I did figure it out. Jailer console time machine 01 user local. Let's see, CAD SMB. Yeah, that's the configuration. It was the one that was in Dan's blog, although it did need some changes. I think he did also document the changes in his blog. So like at some point he's like, oh, this used to work in older Samba, but for newer Samba, this is what you should do. And he did properly document that. You would end up with something like Samba,
Why is he using the Net-A-Data?
He's not.
Net-A-Talk?
Net-A-Talk metadata format.
That's a question
This
for
one?
Dan.
This is for Time Machine.
No, that's for all Apple stuff. This is the hybrid locking so that you can do AFP and SMB export of
Okay.
the same file system
Okay.
concurrently.
Should we change it?
Save it for the
Possibly,
file
because if I
sharing
remember
call.
correctly, it is less efficient. So unless you need Net-Autotuner,
Guess it was.
I don't think you want this. You probably want to encode it directly as an extended attribute, not as a Apple double file, because it pollutes the file system with tons of ._ file name files, which are Apple double encoded resource forks and metadata.
Save it for the metadata call. You've got Hayes, I'm at your disposal. We have a new guest, one of your colleagues who has already dropped off, it looks like. And Carla has a bunch of news.
Maybe let's get to the news
Okay.
and hopefully
And
to a bug
demo, which I
report.
suggest be at the start of the call in order to help people who only want the demos.
Net-Autotuner.
That's a whole can of worms that stood out because that's
Oh
conversations.
yeah, I saw this in Vermidon's blog
Exactly.
post. This is a whole thing of itself.
That's its own call. So
Yeah.
find the dedicated call for
Yeah.
that, but I just didn't want to get lost. That's
There's
my
a
by nature. I try to
bug, I guess. Okay,
capture
let's
such
get to
things. Okay.
questions. Carlo, can we have something like vm.txt? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so I wanted to do something during these holidays, and I worked a bit on FreeBSD and set up a VM so I can test stuff off that I'm changing in the kernel. And there are VM images for like QEMU, for VirtualBox and stuff like that, but there is no VM image with just files that I can run with 9pfs, because FreeBSD 15, I don't know if it was there before, but you can run with 9pfs the root file system. And I created a blog. So here there's a bunch of steps that were basically just running a VM image with Beehive, and one second, with Beehive and tarring the whole file system, and then SCPing it out and extracting it and setting up a few files to make it boot. But I feel like that should be something that you can just download from the uh, file hosting for FreeBSD itself, and you can just start it up.
You're looking for not for a file system, you're looking for the tarballs, right?
Yeah, the tarball, but with the like VM stuff that I can just boot, not the base
What
takes.
VM stuff? It's just FreeBSD at that point.
Yeah, it's FreeBSD. So I need like the base and kernel, I guess, and some configuration. Is that sufficient?
You need the base and the base and the kernel tarball.
And I can just extract it and add a few files to the few lines to the
Yes.
FS tab, and that should be fine.
Unless that's broken, you can.
Oh, okay.
So you
I'm going to
just
test it
get
out after this call.
if you have something like this URL, you get the base.txt and kernel.txt.
Yeah.
You just tar that wherever you want. Probably best to use a dedicated ZFS file system.
Yeah.
And you have a FreeBSD in there. You then maybe want to fill out the FS tab, rc.conf to set a host name,
Yeah.
enable
And that's
SSH,
it.
whatever, configure DHCP client.
Okay,
You
so
won't
I'm
have
going to test
basically
it out.
the configuration steps which happen during install, but for the workflow you're describing, you would. touch all of these files and you can just write them instead of appending to them in that case. So
Okay, I will try it out and change
be aware
the blog
that
post.
sysrc is not written to be safe against malicious rc.conf.
Yeah.
Huh?
So if you have an rc.conf
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
which includes
Yeah.
command expansions,
Yeah, of course.
sysrc will run those commands to get the resulting values. So if you have an evil whatever,
Hosting
uh,
provider or something like that.
jail or beehive guest with 9p, it could just modify those files and then attack the host by making you run sysrc on an untrustworthy file.
Okay. Well, thank you for the information. I will test it out. So with that, why I did that is I wanted to work a bit on FreeBSD kernel. I didn't know where to start, but I knew that the network stack interested me, and so I didn't know where to start with that. And I added like a packet tracing feature where you can see what's happening within the kernel code where every mbuff is going through and how it's being handled. So I would like to share my screen if that's fine. I sent a request. Okay, let's see. So can you see my screen?
Yes, but it's a bit confusing because we now have two screen shares.
Wait,
Oh.
I can fix that,
Andrene, thank you.
but I don't see his. Oh, wait.
It's
Now
a
I do.
tab to make
Oh,
it tracing because
Awesome.
Okay. So I just installed the
Yeah, your screen share is not that usable right now. We see
We
Oh.
see
grayed
a
out,
lot of stuff, but all grayed out. Are you
just
on
striped
Wayland?
out areas. I think your OBS is acting up.
I don't use OBS, it's just Zoom and it's
Or your window
X11.
manager.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean,
It's
I
DWM, so it could be the problem.
Oh, but I don't think so. I mean, okay, sure, but maybe try just
Is
redoing it again. Sometimes it just goes nuts, you know?
okay. Okay. Let me try. Is it any better?
No, not
No,
really.
we
Yeah,
still see diagonal stripes across a significant part of your screen
yeah.
share.
I do
Uh,
suggest, apologies. I do suggest because I think you're sharing the screen, right?
yeah.
I do wonder if you can share a window only, like just your terminal, for
Let me
example, right?
see.
Point of screen
It's
now.
only screen white border
Okay,
dock.
I see.
It
I see.
doesn't.
That's sad.
Mm,
That's okay.
or an
Is it-
SSH terminal to it.
I can SSH to
Uh,
your machine with teammate read-only mode, of course, and then show it.
Sure, I can try to set it up. Oh, but the PKG is not working today.
Oh, do we have a bug again?
It has issues. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but I saw a bunch of
Oh, no, this was
stuff
from
on
last
the.
week or like 2 weeks ago. Jan, how did this get fixed? Remember?
Upstream, you
Upstream in
shouldn't have to
Sherlock.
do anything.
Oh, does this mean we're gonna have the same problem again as last week?
Oh, I have Teammate installed already,
You do have
I
teammate,
think.
nice.
So how do I
Just
start
enter.
it?
Just
Is
run
it
it.
Yeah, just run
okay?
it. It
Do
might
I
not
need
need configuration. Let's hope.
okay? Do I need to give you like a
It
key
will
or
show you.
something?
Oh, you should be
This is
out of tmux because it is tmux by itself as well. Yeah, you don't need tmux anymore.
okay. So let's see.
Fingers crossed. Okay. I know the problem for that. Wait, I know the problem for that. You can control C
Yeah,
that. That's fine. You do
you haven't
pkg
configured
info
the server.
pkg info -d capital teammate.
Capital capital D.
Yep. That's the commands that you need to copy and paste and put into your teammate.conf in your home directory.
Okay. Let's see. This one is also that. So yeah, but this is also now not read-only.
No, there's a read-only option. You should send me the read-only option.
Yeah, let me check.
Yeah.
What is the
Let's
that
say
one?
web session read-only or SSH session read-only, whichever one you want. Yeah.
I suppose you have SSH installed, so
I do. Yes. Okay, let's do this. And then let's do share. Now you don't need to share your screen anymore. Now
oh, but I will have to share it because of Wireshark.
T-Shark?
I can send you my dissector if you and PCAP if
So
you
now I'll
can, yeah.
do this.
So I can stop sharing.
And now I see your terminal. Does anyone else see his terminal?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Is that
I will
Slavic
also...
word bomj or is that just me?
Yeah, it is.
That was very funny. That's very funny.
As in
One
vagrant
second.
or what?
As in homeless or
Yeah,
Homeless, yeah.
bomji. Yep.
yeah, bomj, yeah.
Mm.
One second. Can I send a PCAP? Oh, I can.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. If Zoom allows it,
I sent
absolutely.
a PCAP and I will find my dissector. Wireshark plugins. Okay.
Potential security issue detected. Duator is sent you a PCAP file with sure, it's very, very harmful. Yeah, sure. Absolutely harmful files. Okay. So that's an APCAP file. Great. How do I
Yeah, and this
find it?
thing.
Okay, I have the PCAP file. Okay, next. We have a Lua.
Yeah, that's for Wireshark. I don't know if you have Lua enabled by default or something. I don't think it's on FreeBSD, but by default it could
I have
be.
no idea about that, but that sounds very interesting. Okay, let's do Wireshark. Okay, and dear Wireshark, let's bring it here. Does everything...
No, you will have to first add the plugin because it will not know how to dissect the.
Okay, let's do remind me later. Let's do this is Unix. I know this. One second. There we go. That's input output options. Nope, not that one. There's another button for, settings and stuff.
So this is where I put it, and it just worked for me.
Oh, I did not know about that. I think I do have something like that in Mac OS as well, and I'm sure we can find it if Mac OS works properly, of course. Let's see, what's that? This is open. Okay, let me try that one first. Oh, yeah, sure. Nope, not that one. It is that one. There we go. Okay, open. Great. Now what I'm gonna do is go. What's this? Nope. With this one. There's a capture option. I don't want that. I want like, oh, of course, because I hit the top bar. I totally forgot that we hit the top bar, and I'm looking for buttons. I'm like, where are my buttons? Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay.
I think you'll have to restart Wireshark after you add that file.
Capture protocols. Okay, there are no things about plugins in here, so I'll just do it manually. Yeah, I'll just do Wireshark quit, and then your file, which if anyone's wondering, okay, here's what it looks like. It's cat mbuff trace Lua. Okay, I'm gonna put that in config Wireshark plugins. Okay, and then we do cp, where's that cute thing? Mbuff to config Wireshark plugins. Let's hope this also works on other Unix systems, because I am on Mac OS after all. Not the best, but hopefully not the worst. Oh, did it work?
Oh, it works.
It worked.
Nice.
Awesome. Nice. What
Okay,
did you do?
so I added a thing to the kernel. So after the all files, click on the ICMP. You'll see a bunch of traces in the data section and the dissection. So at some
Holy
point, I
shit,
put
this is
in.
sorry. This is
Can you
Yeah.
zoom in on that? It's very tiny.
I think I can, sir. One sec. Let's do it this way.
Oh,
Oh, how is it now?
oh yeah, no.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
You can maybe collapse it to the right. You don't need the raw bytes.
Hex dumps? Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it's a ping packet, so it was a echo request, and I just put in a bunch of traces to the if.c file and a few other files. So when a packet goes through that code path, it just adds a bunch of traces. So you can see which lines it went through, and you can add also like strings. This I just put in some strings to know what it did. Is there a noise in my background, by the way? Is it bad?
Sounds good.
No, it's
No,
amazing. No worries.
that's my end.
Okay. Yeah, and also you can add like the content of the mbuff, so you can see like it was something, then it went through some code and it changed a bit, and then it went through some other code. And my plan is to add something that you can like double click on the path. You can see that the source path and the line, and it would just pop up in your editor of choice to that line, and you can see what it did.
This is actually very useful for
What?
teaching.
Yeah. My idea is like
You're
to get to
using
know how everything is working under the hood and what it goes through, and you can add, for example, in like PF, you could add like which rules it went through and some additional stuff, anything you
so
want actually. Yeah.
how did you put at the breakpoint or the trace points with
So
dtrace or
no, no. Currently, it's just checking global variables, and I know it's pretty bad, but it's a compile time option. You can disable it, and it compiles to nothing. But my plan is to have something similar to dtrace. I think there is a pull request for what is it called? Zcond, I think. It's similar to dtrace. It's just a bunch of knobs, and if you activate those trace points, it just adds the check of a global variable then.
yeah,
So
that's
that should
exactly
minimize the
how
impact of
static
performance.
drop points work.
Yeah. My plan is to use that so you can use it in without having to pay the cost of looking up the global variable on every place it looks it up. Yeah, I did a few find the link to that. I did a few blog posts about it, how I went about it. The patches are not currently hosted anywhere besides my private repository, but I plan on trying to upstream it and have it be in the kernel. The annoying thing about this is that's the first blog post that has nothing with mbuff tracing. Uh, the annoying part about C is you cannot add these trace points automatically. I would love to be able to just say at build time, have it be like in every function that has mbuff passed in, add a trace, and before every return that returns an mbuff, also add a trace. So you can have like automatically a million trace points that can give you some insight. Yeah, but the patch is pretty small.
I wonder
And,
if you can utilize dtrace for this.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
sorry,
I
sorry.
don't have that much experience with
I
it.
should have changed my question. I know how to use dtrace for this. The question is,
Oh,
how would I integrate it with the inside with injecting it inside of the packet? That's my okay. So here's the thing. Dtrace does have destructive mode where it allows you to change the
okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
And you can write a dtrace script and be like, hey, these are my breakpoints, or as we call them in dtrace, the probes. at these probes takes these information and then change the following variables to that, right? Now that's called a
Okay.
destructive trace mode. Most people don't need it,
Yeah.
and most people shouldn't even use it actually. But in your case, it might make sense to. I wonder if the information that you're injecting in here is available via
But
the SDTs, but it wouldn't because the SDTs are just showing you the function. Meanwhile, here you are able to show the file name and the path and the line
Yeah.
number and the fun. Yeah,
but
in
the
trace.
SDT
Yeah.
at the point where it gets compiled
Oh
has
yes.
access to the compiler,
Yeah.
and that's
Yes.
basically file and line as the macros.
Yeah, it is exactly that. But I don't have experience with
And you
dtrace.
can make those available to the SDT.
Yeah.
Just return them as an argument, half as a string. Yeah, it's underscore file. And
Probably have a look,
line.
right? I'll propose SDT. SDT, these are the declarations, the orgs. We have, I'm sure we have a lot of things which does use these things. But yeah,
Yeah, and the network stack has a bunch of them.
of course, probably a lot of them. No, it's not apropos. KLD load dtrace all, dtrace -l, and I don't know which subsystem that would be. I think it would be in IP subsystem. IP? No. I'm not sure which subsystem. Actually, let me do it this way. And then we'll do a cut WF2 sort unique. There we go. And that would be would it be in SDT itself? Jan would know the answer to that. I guess so. SDT itself. Yeah, there you go. ZFS kernel. Oh, that's it. No, wait, there should be more. There should be more. It's not in syscall, that's for sure. Is it FBT? That's the what was the FBT? Oh God. Yes, FBT. Sorry, these are all the kernel functions that they enter and exit. Can you name a function that you used to attach to?
You can check it in the Wireshark. Let me see. 1 second. Okay, so it's not in. Let me open up my editor.
You can just
There we
look
go.
up which function is
FDQ.
there.
No, it is in here. Yeah, it is in here.
What
And
maybe more,
yes, Jan.
what may be interesting, especially around is putting the trace points into the mbuff macros.
Is it inet9? Yeah, it is. DQ.
The problem with
There we go.
function boundary tracing and so on is that all of that relies on calls to not be inlined,
Yeah.
because otherwise you need some logic to find all copies of the code and then do instruction breakpoints, which technically I think only exist on AMD 64 and maybe for some strange reason PowerPC.
When does the DQ get called? Sorry. When it's any packet or like specifically ICMP or ARP?
I don't know. I did ICMP and it went through that. I haven't had time to check like
No worries, no
how
worries.
everything's working. So
I don't see it in here.
yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna do that way. That's 2 probes. Yeah, that's correct. Nope, still nothing.
still
That's
nothing.
interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
This could be exactly that.
Okay. What about the capital one? No, I don't see that. But
The
what is
capital one would be
combined?
a macro.
Yeah. But the function is in here. I just don't understand when it does get called. Also, why am I not seeing it when?
The other question is, does the function actually get called?
Yeah. Well, it should, right? Based on what we saw in Wireshark. Like, what happens if I do this? You know? Okay, stuff is happening, obviously. I love that I can just wait and it's gonna stop. So, I mean, that's fine. I did send the control C, it just takes time. There we go. So, stuff is happening. I don't know if
Of
it's
course.
memory related. Yeah.
But what I mean is, if a function gets inlined, the original call site never gets called.
I see what you mean.
And if it's like a static inline function,
So if it's in a kernel stack, we would see it. But if it's an inline function, so it's getting called somewhere without actually setting the function pointer to it, then we would not see it in here. But we would know it because there's an STD on it. Did SDT on it? Did I get that right?
yep, the
Okay.
SDT would still be exactly, it's part of the code,
Okay.
and it would get in line to all call sites.
Okay. I see what you mean. Thank you. Yeah. So my thing was useless. Never mind. Your thing is way more useful. I just wondered if like you could integrate dtrace into it, but then we wouldn't see all of these macros, for example, or all of these inline functions, right? So that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Well,
Yes, Jan.
that's not really true. You have to make the SDT part of the macro.
You have to make the SDT part of the macro. Okay, okay. Then dtrace would be
And
able to see it.
then it would be, all of those would be dtrace probes. And
Okay.
yeah, the downside is that now you have this overhead in some of the hottest parts of the kernel. And if you try to upstream that, especially as an always on feature, you can't opt out. Certain people over at Netflix will be very unhappy with you
I'm okay with that.
because you just cost them 100 gigabits or more per second of throughput.
Zero code conditional execution mechanism. Thank you. Let's go there.
Yeah, so I sent you the link to what I had in mind. So it's something similar to SDT, but it's, I think, a bit simpler for my use case. It's from what I got, it's just a bunch of knobs, and if you toggle it, it does a rendezvous and inserts checks into those knobs.
So the crazy trick how the dtrace break function boundary tracing is implemented is that when you that there's no overhead when the probe isn't enabled because you just execute the code unmodified. But if you enable the probe, the kernel code will be patched so that it will copy the beginning of the function out of the way, and then we override it with a trampoline, which will jump to the copy, and the copy will end to a jump where the code paths get reunified.
Oh,
So that,
that's wild.
yes, so you're actually enabling it, and you do all of that in such a way that you can do that with every kernel function, even with scheduler and so on. Yeah, it's
So
it's dark magic, the implementation, but that implementation relies on the fact that the code, which does kind of the preserve the old function, is position independent, and you can just execute the same instructions somewhere else in the kernel code. That's the reason why we don't have function boundary tracing on ARM, for example, because on ARM it's so damn easy and common to reference the program counter for addressing and so on, that you would have to write a bunch of not really trivial code, but also not impossible code to detect those cases and emulate those instructions. For 32-bit ARM, it would be really annoying because you would have to check every register access because the program counter is a normal register. So every time register 15, I think, is used in traditional ARM, it's basically, oh yeah, that's the program counter, by the way, you're writing to. And yeah, so function boundary tracing is only available on 32 and 64-bit Intel/AMD and PowerPC 64, I think. For ARM, it would be hard to implement. For others, it just hasn't been implemented. And people didn't care enough. For example, MIPS or, yeah.
So do you have a path forward on that? If you were to explore dtrace, or maybe it's not appropriate?
I will check out how dtrace does stuff and maybe try to integrate this into it. This is I based it in the example how I added. So these lines with pluses are the ones I added. In
So
its
what worries me about how I read your implementation is that the formatting overhead, the mtrace printf, is at the call side and not at the callee side, kind of, or not at the consumer side. So if you have any non-trivial formatting to do, like formatting a floating point value, you don't want to hold up some busy spin loop in the network stack or something. You
yeah,
just
but
want to copy the number into a buffer, into a struct, and then have the code which displays that apply the formatting. So kind of here is your argument
yeah,
list.
I
Uh,
get that, but this is
and
like
dtrace
I added
already has the
just a
mechanism for that.
oh, okay. I just added like the most basic implementation I could. It's so these mtrace printfs and mtrace data and stuff like that. It's just adding additional tags to the mbuf with a cookie that I defined, and when the mbuf is freed, I add them to the tab, to the BPF tab I created. So you can TCP dump and get like every mbuf that's being freed and its trace where it went through the code. And yeah, it could be the formatting and stuff like that could be deferred to the freeing uh, end. But this was the simplest way I did it, I think.
Cool, good work. And from the doc, you have IMUNES news.
Yeah, I don't know if I showed that earlier, but I think it's now in the master branch. Can I try to share my screen again?
Yes,
Could
I'm gonna stop mine.
is it a bit better now?
A bit better indeed.
Okay, so I will start Immunes with this flag, which is remote, and will connect to the other PC. Oh, before I do that, should we show like how I TCP dumped, or is doesn't make sense? It's just TCP dump on a specially named device
No,
for
no, it's okay.
the tracing stuff.
I think we
Okay.
can just show the demo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm guessing this is doing remote immunes. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a remote immune. So I'm connecting to the machine that's next to me. And yeah, it says on the top it's remote, and I can add like a PC, start the experiment. It's a normal jail, and I can do stuff live to it. Uh, I've config. It's tiny. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know how to use Xterm to change this on the fly. So
If you want, I can tell you, do a control left click.
Control left. Oh, okay.
There you go. Oh, maybe shift left click. I'm getting old. I keep forgetting
No.
stuff too. No, it's not the shift. Then the other option is alt, I guess. Alt left click.
No. Alt left click just does the rectangle.
Was it actually in control left click?
It
Because
could
it should
be.
say like huge, you know, it has a
Yeah,
such a
I remember seeing stuff like that, but I don't see it here.
fascinating.
Try bird modifiers.
Maybe it's control single click, as in
It could be control right click, but
right
my
click.
control right click is window manager and stuff.
That's so funny.
So it's
Okay.
yeah, sorry for that. But this is just like a
Yeah.
normal FreeBSD-Jail 20. And yeah, it's doing all the things you would expect it
Nice.
to. Yeah.
Can I ask
Try
you
to
a
lead.
question?
Yeah.
So, is there a way for us to see the packets moving
Here? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that's good.
Let me show you that. I will connect it and start pinging it. Right click on the
Line.
No, not right click on the line. Right click on the PC, Wireshark, and I can see the packets on the other
Oh,
machine.
like that. Okay. That's good. That's cool. Okay. And my other option is, can it be instead of a jail something else, like in there? The reason why I'm asking is because I have a customer who wants to
Okay.
test free radius inside of
Okay.
FreeBSD, right? And then for the radius client, I guess you would say, they want to use MikroTik, right? So our idea was that MikroTik has this cloud-hosted router, which is literally just a virtual machine of MikroTik. And we
Okay.
thought, hey, we can just boot up MikroTik in Beehive, which Michael, I think you've done that before, and
Yep.
it works fine. And use router OS as a switch to test radius and 802.1x authentication, right? So I thought if they can also have IMUNES as an interface for them to see.
There is
go on.
actually patch for that, not specifically for router OS, but there's a
Beehive.
patch. It's not in master, but it's not Beehive, it's QEMU.
Okay.
But it should be trivial to change it to Beehive, where you can add like here you have PC hosts and stuff like that, which are all jails. And you can add a VM image, set like your parameters for QEMU and start it, and it will start a virtual machine. And also in that patch, it's added you can double click it and it will open a VNC locally, and you can see
Nice.
have mouse and keyboard and stuff like that.
I think integrating that
So
with Beehive would be very easy, especially that Beehive has
yeah,
Netgraph support, you know?
yeah.
You are using
So
Netgraph
also
here, am I correct?
yeah. This is all Netgraph and VNets and jails. So yeah, there is a patch for that, and it's planned in near future, but it's still not in master.
Nice.
Yeah, I will tell Dennis to maybe hurry it up, and so we can have that feature a bit sooner.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, actually. The more I use Netgraph, the more I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for this demo.
So that's dash R.
I will.
So you do have IMUNES installed on the other machine, or
No, you don't need to have it
you don't
installed
need
there.
it even. It's just a
Nice.
FreeBSD machine.
Yeah, but you have to create the it's called vroot, like virtual root. It's a jail-based file system,
Okay.
and you can copy it from like a local machine.
Yeah.
There's a immunes-p that creates it. It's a
Nice.
command. It's a immunes-p. It just creates the vroot, so you can create it locally and copy it to the other machine. It doesn't need immunes installed. Just SSH, and if you're not logging in as root, it requires sudo, I think.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netgraph,
Could you share your screen on Trinig as the host?
yes. There we go. There we go. It should work. Hopefully it does. I don't know. Which screen is it sharing? Yeah, the correct one. Okay. So I have, maybe I'll do this. Okay. But I am not VPN. 1 second. Let me VPN to the corpo. There we go. And I have this, which has this, which has this, which has them user, no, sorry, fbsd-Net-Autotuner DNS. There we go. A kind of complicated Netgraph configuration, all thanks to Netgraph Buddy. So this is a one interface per VLAN.
Can you tell us what we're looking at?
Yes, let me actually, maybe I should go from
Introduce it, please.
So this is Bane. Bane is a server. It's a Dell or 260. It has moderate configuration or very well configuration depending on which part of the planet you live and how the RAM prices are going that way. So this is our new management server, as in the admin management server. Here, the way that I configured the networking is the following way. There is an interface, BGE0, which is on VLAN, what is that, 42, untagged, as you can see. But for the tagging, I have BGE1, where I have VLAN 37, 42, etc., 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 etc. And then when I'm creating those interfaces, I set their VLAN IDs, apparently this way, and their MAC addresses. Okay, great. And then what's this? And then I do up for some reason. I don't know how is this working at the moment, but apparently it is. I think the one at the bottom is the correct one, right? Yeah, I think so. It just does like VLAN something up. It doesn't even touch the MAC addresses, if I'm not mistaken, although I might be mistaken. Yeah, we can actually check by doing ifconfig, let's say VLAN 101. Is it this? No, it's a different MAC address. So the top ones don't matter. Never mind that. And then I have Netgraph Buddy. And the way that I did it is, let's say I have my Wi-Fi Netgraph bridge, which is connected with VLAN 37. And I also have BGE1NG-Wi-Fi. This is an IE interface. I'm very bad with the names of Netgraph, I'm sorry. Which is shown on my system in ifconfig. So it would be, where are you? This one, right? The reason why I have this is so I can just do TCP dump. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I mean, they could even not exist. And that's pretty much it. This is on the host side of things. For the, apologies, for the jail side of things, I have the following jail, which using Netgraph Buddy, it does exactly that. And let's have a look at Netgraph Buddy's output. It would be service ng buddy status, which would print the following. So I have a bridge named Wi-Fi, which has the following jail's interface, I guess. The following, what do you call that? The following IFACE interface and the VLAN itself upper lower, right? So they actually do exist here. And this is how all of
Those
them
are
go.
the hooks.
Sorry? The hooks, yes.
Those are, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, and this is like my prod, where the prod machines are. So all of the jails are in here. Great. The DNS one got very interesting because typically in most enterprises, what people do is that they have a single DNS server on a single IP address. That would typically be their Active Directory, right? And then that Active Directory would be available from all of the networks used, and then they would need to do like, firewall the stuff to make sure that the DNS is available, but maybe not Active Directory. And I don't know. They keep doing a lot of complicated stuff. Instead, what I did is that this single DNS jail has one interface per VLAN, and that per VLAN interface is connected to that VLAN bridge, basically, right? So, service ng-buddy GL for if name 42, which is defined up here, as we can see, and the bridge is MGMT and prod and LAN, and it just listens to all of those. And then I also set the MAC addresses. I like knowing my MAC addresses, and then the IP addresses. Yes, they all have the same last octet in the IP address. I love naming the services using their port numbers. So you would see like 53 column 53, right? When you're listening. Default route, obviously. And same thing for post stop, and that's it. And this configuration of jails was nice because I did have a similar config before, right? But when I did an if config, I was like, oh my God, so many EPER interfaces, right? One per VLAN. So that was a very big nightmare. Here I don't have that. And I still have a lot of interfaces here, but I don't have to. The reason why I have them is, again, so I can do TCP dump, but otherwise, even if I have multiple systems like that, it wouldn't be a lot of EPR interfaces dangling around here and there. And this is something that I just wanted to show, and it's working perfectly nice. And we've been using this setup for a while now. Let's see, service ng, but the status, and it works very beautifully. Like here are a lot of jails with their own hooks and their interfaces. So, no issues at all. I don't know why I haven't used Netgraph before, but I think it was mostly because it is still underdocumented. I do wonder if the VLAN part can be done with Netgraph.
But there is ng VLAN. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it with Netgraph Buddy, nor I have any idea how to configure it properly. But apparently it's like downstream, and yeah. So yeah, go on. Sorry.
One of the downsides, as far as I know, is that the Netgraph VLAN node type is pure software.
Okay.
So you don't get direct dispatching to the interface in hardware.
I don't know if I
As long
have
as
that.
there's virtual interfaces.
Yeah, I do have that feature. Yeah, I do have VLAN hardware tagging and VLAN hardware checksums. So VLAN
And
hardware checksums.
also the
VLAN hardware TSO.
yeah.
Oh, VLAN MTU.
So yeah, you
I don't
lose
know
that.
what that is. What's VLAN MTU in the flags? I have no idea.
Probably you can configure the MTU per VLAN.
An MTU per VLAN. Oh, okay. Because historically, yeah. Historically, it was per
So let's say you have
interface. Yeah.
a storage VLAN and you set the MTU on only that VLAN
Yeah.
to 9000.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't do that, but
Or your
if you do,
NFS
sure.
traffic.
Yeah.
Also, for the software side, why shouldn't it be possible to add that support to the ng VLAN code? Is there something that's not like possible to do from the ng VLAN, Jan? So we can use the
It's
tag
just
that
that when I looked at the code last, which was a while ago, there was no special tie-in code which exists for the normal VLAN driver. So it's just
okay,
that
so it's just
Netgraph
implementation.
is a bit removed from the hardware drivers, and everything is basically Netgraph is a parallel universe where networking is object oriented.
Yeah.
Or graph oriented if you want to be even more pedantic. So you have your nodes, they have a type, which is kind of like a class in object orientation. They exchange messages with each other, which is a method called in the not in the C++ way, but in the Smalltalk way. So you have hooks you can connect, and then you can send each other messages, which is why it's so damn flexible. But it's also why it's so confusing, because you have to deal with relative versus absolute addressing when configuring. Yeah, okay, it can emit the system state as a graph that's dot file, and then you can see it unless it's too big, because if you have lots and lots and lots of interfaces, like on a big L2TP setup, it gets confusing even with GraphViz because you have thousands of nodes. The error problem is that some of the configuration and stuff is under a single read mostly log. So scalability to high core count systems is limited. Doesn't mean it has to be slow. It is sometimes faster, especially on small systems, but it means that scaling it to a 128 core machine or something is not going to happen easily, especially when you have to change the topology once in a while.
Jan, what was your parallel universe comment that everything's object
Netgraph
oriented?
Netgraph is its own parallel universe where forget everything you know about a traditional Unix network stack. It works differently.
Well, yes, but is something. You said something like object oriented.
It is object oriented,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Where the network configuration, where the networking stack is completely object oriented. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
I'm still jealous of our Illumos friends having crossbow, aka DL Adam. Yeah, I mean it's. By the way, the whole reason why we created Bane in our infrastructure is so we can move our Solaris, aka Illumos, aka OmniOS server, to FreeBSD. Mostly because for the OmniOS machine we had a custom driver for the network card, and I'm like, oh, if I update this, it just might not, I might need to like recompile the kernel module again, and for every 6 months, it was a nightmare. So we're like, fine, let's just move our last Illumos machine to FreeBSD, and then I'm like, oh wait, crossbow, I'm gonna lose the lovely crossbow. So we ended up with that. But yeah.
What's this about Loki? I like Grafana.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I'm gonna say dashboard. That's the one. Do you still see my screen, right? I hope.
Yep.
Yes. Let's say logs. Okay, it's working. Let's say this one sucks. I think I should do it like this. Component equals to Loki source show logs. Let's say last. Let's keep it as is. I'm gonna go to a machine here, and I'm gonna do logger dash h, which is going to be, I want to say logs dot local dot api dot am. Port is going to be 1514, and then the tag is going to be test, and let's say hello from code for testing. Enter. Let's see if it worked, and then if I do refresh, I might be doing it wrong. I'm not sure. I might be doing it wrong. Ping logs.local.api that's working. The port should be working. Oh no, the port is different. Jan, was the RFC for syslog 32? You should know this.
End services syslog. Get end. The get end command will tell you.
I do know I want the RFC, not the port number. Cons logs 01 or log 01 of the other. Sorry, sockstat. Because there's like the BSD style logger.
Yeah, 513.
Yeah, and then there's also the new syslog. So I set one listener for each port, basically, kind of, just to make sure that I don't mix and match.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay, and then if I come here, is it working? Yes, there we go. You have a log. Hello from whatever. That's the component. That's the protocol. Where's the host though? I don't know how to do that. I'm sure that the information is somewhere. I just don't know where it is. But yeah, the idea is that now I should change all of my what do you call that? All of my hosts and jails to send their syslog to this specific address, so I can have them in a single place, right? That's the overall idea. I might be doing it wrong because I'm not that smart, but I think you guys got the point. Historically, we used to do this the other way around, right? We used to run like collectors, like Loki collector or Elasticsearch collectors. What was the name of that? Kibana, Elasticsearch, Elasticsearch, Kibana. What was the L for? There was another component in there. Elasticsearch, is it? I don't remember. But anyway,
Logstash,
Logstash. Thank you. Logstash, yes. Right. Historically we used to run Logstash on every machine, But now I'm like, hey, what if I just tell syslog to send all of the syslogs using the syslog protocol over UDP to a different machine? In this case, the log collector. So then I would see all of it here. And Michael, yes, Router OS does support sending all of its messages over syslog to another machine, and as well as Unify. Unify can send all of its logs over syslog to a different machine. That's good
Of course,
Sorry?
but it's UDP. It's yell into the void and hope someone listens.
True, absolutely true. One thing that
Like
I
auto logging.
One thing that I created, Michael, you might like this because I know that you've had the problem of that, is like ABI internal homepage, right? This is a logo, a text, a link, logo, text, link, logo, text, link. This is what all it is. But I made like a small script. I
Do you have a
don't
link
think
for that?
that's an internal one. But the code itself is, what did I call it? Dashboard? The hell did I call it? Wait, was that homepage? There we go. Homepage.sh, which it looks like this, my friend. It's an RC-conf file, right? So homepage, logo, favicon, accent, background, and then you go homepage metric link, homepage metric name, homepage metric logo, homepage metric group, right? So for example, if I add in here, let's say homepage, let's call it wiki name. No, first of all, we need a link. That would be HTTPS to wiki.abi.am, right? Homepage wiki name would be knowledge base, okay? Homepage wiki logo. I don't know if I have a logo. Let's just call it wiki for now. And then home page wiki group. Let's call it, I have no idea, daily, whatever, sure. And then if I do, come on, Mac, you can do this. I believe in you. Save and exit, bruh. Jesus. Okay. And then if I do sh generate, it does do that. Do I have the logo? Was that right? It's Wikipedia, not wiki. Okay, fine. Homepage, this would become Wikipedia. Okay. And then if I do generate, it does. Apparently there's a bug, but that's fine. Open index. There you go. Daily, knowledge base, wiki. Here's a link. So useless crap, but I think it's useful if you have like a lot of links that you need to keep track of, basically, right? So this would be like the internal homepage of the company.
Interesting. Yep.
That would be like at the top of the IRC chat or Slack or whatever, and people can go in there and find everything that they need. Because I keep forgetting what port it is, what DNS name it is, you know, stuff like so. Anyway, and there are a lot of software that do stuff like this, like Get Homepage is very common in the Home Lab community. But for some reason, it requires like running Node.js and compiling binaries just to display a homepage. Sure, it's fancy, but isn't that just CSS? So yeah. Anyways, that's something I just wanted to show. It's
Cool.
useless.
Did you see Carlos' question in chat?
Did I see Carlos's question in chat about this?
No, about SSH bean.local and GCTL, unless it got
You could
covered.
try something SSH bean local and dot. Oh, that. Yes. One sec. Let's do this. SSH bean. Now, I think I should be able to do service ng buddy extra commands, and it should have. Oh, it doesn't have a dot. Never mind. Then it's here. It would be ng ctl dot dash c. Is that how I do it?
Yeah, C is compact.
Yeah, and maybe I should also do it as a root. Okay, and then I'll pipe it to dot. Well, do I have dot? One second.
You can pipe it to dot local if you haven't installed. You just need the ngctl dot to be run.
My computer's not complaining, so that's good.
Yeah.
Dot tpng, and then I can save this to tmp.
I think SSH won't split their arguments like this.
What? Why?
It will try to run the command ngctl dot, right?
Okay. Sorry, I should do it this way.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
worked.
produced something there.
Oh, sorry. It's
Just drag the
right
window
here.
over.
That's
Ah,
wait,
beautiful.
wait. I can do this.
It's a bit tiny, but
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Come on, computer.
Just double
Oh,
click
there we
it.
go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So BGE Bridge NG. These BGEs, the BGE1 has like VLAN and VLAN and VLAN, and the VLAN has a Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi has, a jail and a thing, right? Which one is the most complex one? Prod, of course, because everything is running in prod, right? So jail, the DNS server jail.
Yeah, so
And
these interfaces are just VNetted to those jails, right?
yes.
Yeah.
This is on the host. The BGE1ng-prod is on the host, because I thought, hey, I can use this interface to do a TCP dump on the host. Now, I don't know if that's a correct thing to do. Like if the traffic is going to go to this one, right? And I'm TCP dumping this one on the host. Would I see?
Yeah, you won't see.
I won't see, because it's going to do
Unless
like
your
path.
bridge is in flooding mode.
Okay. So if it's doing things like broadcasting, ARP and stuff like that, I'd be seeing them. Otherwise, it'll be like, oh, I just discovered my appropriate path on L2, and it would not send it to BGE1ng prod, and it would send it direct. Okay, how would I do TCP dump if I'm in a Netgraph bridge?
You cannot TCP dump a Netgraph bridge.
Okay.
I can add support for that if you want. Now I know how to do BPF tabs, and it should be pretty simple.
Okay. Right. Now, what I'm currently doing is I go inside the jail and I do TCP dump in the jail on that specific interface, right? So
yeah, that's how we would do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest is pretty much the same, right? So like it's the same. So which means I don't need these host ones, really? Like it's practically useless. Because my host is never on that. My host is literally working as a hypervisor. This physical interface is what I'm connecting to for SSH, but this physical interface is what the VLANs and the jails are running on. So like very, I hate to say it, but ESXi style hypervisor setup. Although, I don't know, most ESXi admins do use a single network card most of the time, but enterprises at least do properly. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me of Don.
Yeah. But can you show the right side of this image?
Right side.
I think
right?
the right side. Oh, so it's VLAN interfaces.
Yeah.
Okay. I had it's not a problem, but it was problem in my setup when I bridged the host's interface to like I added its upper and lower to a Netgraph bridge, and then had a EI face to a bunch of jails. I forgot to turn off hardware checksumming. So jails, every packet that went to jails had invalid checksum, and they were just dropped. And that's something to keep in mind.
I see. That's a good point, actually. Yes.
With Netgraph, to just disable like almost everything with hardware offloading.
Okay. What else? Not.
Sorry for triggering you, Anthony.
Yes, dear. Oh yeah,
With
that
the comment that everything is running and testing, even the production environment.
Yeah.
I mean, a few lucky ones supposedly have a separate production network.
Yeah. I mean, I specifically asked management for Bane, so I can do a lot of testing there. And I'm lucky enough that they agreed to buy it, so we can, do whatever we want on it. So it's fine now. We might even bring in a couple of older machines to use them as like a lab environment, right? The problem is our actual production is large, as you know, right? The 250 plus cores, terabytes of RAM, at
Yeah.
the problems at that scale is not reproducible in a lab environment per se. Unless we want to, crap money.
Double the cost.
Like 50, 60. In today's case, it would be even more than that, $1,000 just to have a lab environment. So, yeah. Anyways, long story short, that. If anyone has any ideas about this question, I don't want to get into it today, no worries. So I was thinking if I can use nsyslogd to send all of the logs to my Loki instance. And then, of course, I realized, oh, there's also the mail thing, right? So MDA is also used to send a mail to the admin every 24 hours. Like, hey, backup is done, periodic has executed. Maybe I can also use MDA, sorry, Dragonfly Mail Agent, right? And then I can send that info to my mail server or something. I don't know. It doesn't have to be real email. Like as long as I can just see those mails in Grafana every day, it's fine, right? So that's the overall idea of it, at least. But yeah, if any of you has an idea, please shoot me a link. Carlo, by the way, thank you very much on the work for the -R. That's very useful in a lab environment because when we were using IMUNES, how do you pronounce it, by the way, correctly?
I usually say IMUNES,
Okay, so
but it doesn't have an official pronunciation.
okay. So when I'm talking with Americans, it's IMUNES. When I'm talking with my Armenian friends, it's IMUNES, like the phonetic type, right? So anyway, when I'm doing it with IMUNES, one of the problems that students had, they were like, oh, now I have to set up X11 in the, virtual machine or whatever. And then I need to do like X11 forwarding so I can see what's happening because they typically don't run FreeBSD on their own machines, right? But with the -R, that solves a big ass problem.
Yeah. You can
Thank
have
you
like
very much.
complex
Thank you.
topologies, and also multiple people can attach to the same topology.
Oh, and
But the changes,
yeah.
but the changes are not visible instantaneously. You need to click refresh on the experiment refresh. There is a button that fetches anything that's changed.
This one I wanted to ask, do you do anything specific with these images?
It's just an image that has installed IMUNES, and I think XFCE and something else.
Okay. Do you need
It's
help
just
with
a.
doing release engineering of this?
I can ask Dennis. He's doing that.
Okay.
I can ask him. He might. I know it's. I don't know if it's a trouble for him, but it usually takes him a few days to like test everything and make
I
sure
see.
it works.
I see. Because we
something
do
like
have
that.
the resources, as you know, as in memory and disk and CPU. And I do have an intern who would be interested to contribute more. So this might sound like a good fit,
Okay,
right? Because it's
we,
like
we
a
should get in contact.
yeah. Because it's a very mechanical work as far as I can tell, and it just needs some QA to make sure everything is right, and maybe we can release for 15 as well. So, anyways,
Yeah.
okay.
By the way,
Um,
how do you will you like create an issue on GitHub or something to
yes, I will.
get in touch with Dennis? I will tell Dennis and
Yeah.
you can get in contact with that way.
Carlo, did your Unix socket question get answered?
Not yet.
Can we have a Unix socket path for name server? What?
Yeah, I had it was a few years ago. I was
That
running
would
a
be
DNS
nice,
server.
especially for jails.
One at a time.
Yeah, I had a DNS server running in a jail, and I wanted to expose it to the host, but I didn't want to have an interface, like a network interface to the host. I just shared the file system. So I wanted to do it that way. Bind did not support Unix socket path, but also I didn't find the support for it in etc resolve file.
Okay, Jan
So
would
I don't
know
know
the
if that's
answer to
something.
this.
As far as I know, it doesn't exist. It's IPv4 or IPv6 or nothing.
Oh, okay.
Another person who would know the answer to this would be Paul Vixie from the DNS community. So
No, this would be our stub resolver, and I don't think he's maintaining that.
okay,
You could just use something like inetd to act as a
socket to socket
proxy or SOCAT or
SOCAT.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just to have it run as a Unix datagram socket to Unix stream socket, or even do DNS over stream sockets.
But
It
that's then more
exists.
complicated than just
And
having an
then,
extra interface.
and if you do that on both sides, then it works. So you have one socket here and then one socket here, but at that point, exactly, you have now two proxies to not speak IP. I don't see this as being really useful.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could
technically you can do it. You could give a jail a null modem device and speak SLIP or PPP over it, but why? I mean, it would be fast enough for DNS, but really the question is why?
yeah, I could take a look at that code and maybe add support for Unix
Um,
sockets, but I don't have a DNS server that has support for Unix sockets, so that's also a part of the problem.
yeah, but the bigger question is why are you not binding anything to the loopback of the jail? Because then you don't need anything. So if you don't have a resolve conf, FreeBSD defaults to trying to look up via localhost. So
okay.
hard-coded IP4. So if you bind anything to 127.0.0.1,
I'm running with VNets, by the way.
yeah,
So
per VNet. So something small like either unbound or DNS mask or something, and you just configure it to act as a DNS forwarder.
yeah, but where will it forward to? It would need to forward it to a Unix socket.
Technically, non-DNS aware software exists which could do that.
Yeah. I mean, for testing, I can just use socket like you described and implement
what I was wondering is, wouldn't it be nicer to just forward to some per jail known address? I don't know, link local address or something.
What?
Give each jail in IMUNES an interface connected to the management plane with link local addresses on it.
Yeah, but it's not. This is not an immune setup. It's something in my at home. But yeah, it's actually the DNS is hosted inside a jail, and I wanted to access it from the host and have it be
That's
exposed
fine.
via. Yeah, it's the same thing, but just the roles are
In
reversed.
that case, do you want all the host's DNS queries to go to the jail?
Yeah, yeah.
Then you can just add it to etc resolve conf and use a link local address on an ePair interface. So you create an ePair interface, you give one into the VNet enabled jail,
Yeah.
assuming it's VNet enabled.
Yeah, but I wanted
Otherwise,
to.
you just create an alias IP on a loopback. And yeah, you're artificially restricting yourself from doing the right thing.
Yeah,
It's
but I wanted
basically,
to
I
avoid
can't
that.
hear
I
you
wanted
if
to
I hold
avoid
my
it.
ears closed.
Oh, okay.
Or I can't hear you because I'm yelling so loud.
Philip, any questions or news?
No, just following along that just see how things are going.
There's a bug report open, but Jamie has long left our rambling session. So one of the problems, I put it into the minutes, is bug report 286179. Passing a VLAN interface to a VNet jail results in a stuck dying state.
I think you have it here.
Can you repost that? I don't see that.
It's in the minutes if you scroll up.
Okay, okay.
I put it where it belongs.
Yeah, appreciate it. Although things get pushed down as context changes.
So if you bring that up, yeah. It's not. It's no longer one of the youngest bug reports we have. So what this user encountered is that they have a network card, they create VLAN interfaces on it, and give them to VNet-enabled jails. And when you destroy the jail, which you've given a VLAN interface on your physical NIC, rather than just giving back the VLAN interface in a deconfigured state, the jail is stuck dying. So if you do a JLS-D,
Wait, that
it
doesn't
will
happen to
show
me.
up.
That doesn't happen to me. Oh, you're doing the VCXL? Okay, I'm doing the CXLV. I'm doing the SRIOV one.
Could be that there's some special case there,
Okay. Okay.
or that your configuration is a bit different. But I reproduced it with that interface. The original user reported it with a VLAN. In both cases, the solution you can run today is to never trigger the bug by removing the interfaces before destroying the jail.
Oh,
So
so
in
same
the
thing that we had like 5 years ago.
yeah, basically you do an ifconfig interface down, dvnet it, and then stop the jail, which is not something. If you can do these steps, why can't the shutdown be implemented the same way? Right? Why do I have to write 20 lines or so of shell for every jail to correctly do this? And if you have the proper stuff there in your exec.prestop, it also means you must not use garbage collected jails, because if so you must set persist to true, because otherwise, if the jail gets destroyed by the kernel, it will also get stuck dying.
Jan, a question about the CCC exploit, since you were there. If it's
Yes?
used actually on production, does it require for the kernel to be compiled with assert disabled, or did they disable the
No,
asserting only to do
they
some
disabled
checking?
that so that
Okay.
they get they're testing on current, but they want their current to look as much as possible like a production system.
Okay.
So it's basically turning expensive integrity checks off, which will not be on in a production system, because otherwise the invariant checker and so on will often catch you mid-exploit and panic, but production systems are not running it. So it's giving you a false sense of security too. And the checks are so expensive and scaled so badly that you can't expect people with normal workloads to run them in production. And some of them are also false positives. So it could actually make the system less available and stable in that regard. You don't want the system to panic on any log order reversal false positive. Yeah. One of the things is for the stuff they showed you, the host root user has to do some non-default stuff, like, for example, load a specific firewall. So the exploit code for the IPF firewall, so the predecessor of PF, which FreeBSD still technically supports, when you add a firewall rule, it just you open the IPF device and then you invoke an ioctl to add a rule. And the kernel code used to just take the length from the structure passed from user space and then copy that length from the user space buffer into a kernel stack buffer. So yeah, UIO move with an unvalidated length into a fixed size buffer. Obvious bug, but historically something which is not uncommon in network configuration stuff in the kernel, because, well, if you can reach this point in the kernel, you're root in user space. So if you're root, then you could just load a malicious kernel module, right?
Mhm.
Or do other shenanigans, OpenDev KMem, whatever you want. You already own the system, right?
Well,
So
I think the other thing they mentioned was they had to enable loading kernel modules. So wouldn't secure level be able
stop.
to disable this one?
Yeah, if you raise this secure level, you can no longer load kernel modules. You can't open KMem and so on, and there's some hardening.
But wait, you can load kernel modules
But
in the jail by default?
no, you can't. You can never load kernel modules in a
So
jail.
that's why they did that. So in their case, they had to.
They assume that the host uses this firewall,
Uh-huh.
and so it's already loaded.
They assume that the host uses IPF firewall. So
And then it is attackable, because what happened is FreeBSD in its total history quite recently gained support for VNet-enabled jails.
okay.
That extended this attack surface for root inside a jail quite significantly from the kernel's point of view,
Yeah.
because now the root of a jail, which in their threat model is implicitly the attacker,
Yeah.
gets to manage a network stack, the network stack of the VNet-enabled jail.
Sure.
So all the network management kernel code like ioctl, sockopt, and so on, where normally you would have to be root, I don't know, to attach an accept filter or load and so on. All of that stuff is now reachable from inside a jail, so that code needed auditing badly, as we've seen. And yeah, we should thank them for that thankless work, because it's not fun to slog through the management part of the network stack where nobody wants to look, unless you're a paid attacker.
I thought the CCC exploit was pretty neat in that it showed that the jails were, added on after after networking was created, of course, but
Oh,
also that you had to break into the root to be able to load a custom kernel module, and ultimately there's multiple ways to harden the system against
so
these particular ones.
the kernel module, oh, you mean that stuff where they are loading a kernel module as their shellcode. That if you get code execution in the kernel with some kind of ROP chain, it's called, so a chain of return addresses you found or entry points you can jump to. What they're doing there, through one information disclosure leak, they get the stack canary value so that they can fake a kernel stack. Normally, you can't just write a fake kernel stack with fake stack frames, because you need a checksum value. And if that value is wrong, the return sequence in every kernel function will panic the system. So there's kind of a checksum on the return address. And that's different on every boot. And they found one bug which allowed them to read out this return address checksum value. And with that checksum values, they could compute different checksum values for different addresses, because the checksum is just XOR, I think, for performance reasons. So what are they doing? they set up a fake stack frame afterward and caused the corrupted systems to unwind the return stack as it would usually do, but the return stack has been overwritten with a return stack that will go to the kernel module load entry point plus a little offset, because at the beginning of the kernel module load function, it checks, oh, are you the root user? No, you don't get to load kernel modules. Are you jailed? Then you don't get to load kernel modules. But because they're returning to behind that check, they can then use the rest of the function. But yeah, common attack mechanism to just return to the middle of a function. And but building up your payload from return-oriented programming snippets like this is very annoying and hard. And what they demonstrated is that you can avoid that pain and suffering almost completely by immediately targeting the kernel module load function, because then your actual payload is the kernel module. And so the kernel will then load that kernel module you've given it, even though without the exploit you would be unable to load a kernel module, but now you've given the kernel a path. Here is the path, load this kernel module. And then you have all the nice features kernel modules can use, so you get a bunch of useful pointers, and you can write completely normal kernel module C code. So everything you could do in a kernel module, you can now do reliably in your exploit. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else. I had a stupid question, but we can ignore that for today. Sometimes my DNS server doesn't respond. I think it's just UDP over UDP issue, because when I tested over TCP, when I do it UDP over TCP, it works fine, interestingly. Anyways, any other questions? Philip? No, okay. Jan, any other news? All good? Okay. We did see a good demo today by our good friend Dautor. Great. Okay. I'm calling it a day. Anyone wants to do the honors?
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Thank you.